Section 4. Things. 21. In the daily life of the average Joe, he or she will have things they rely on, things they use, or things they feel they can't live without. Some days, when you feel the anxiety coming, it pays to have things around you that you can see or do, just to remind you that you're in control of what's going on. Take a Rubik's Cube and turn one edge around. The way it feels just encourages you to turn it another way, to turn another edge, and keep playing. This type of thing we can use to help us keep moving when it feels like we're stuck during the day. 22. I'll give you a small list of things that I use as tools. Funny TV shows, movies, games console, Sudoku puzzles, reading, taking a nap, going on a walk, doing some photography, listening to music, sitting in silence and breathing and listening. This is by no means all of them, but a lot of these things can help. When I talk to people about anxiety, they kind of look at you a little strange when you say you need to sleep during the day or when you just need half an hour to chill. It's a similar story when you say you're overwhelmed and need to take a break to chill or recharge. People tend not to understand or connect the dots well enough about what goes on and how anxiety interacts with the physical parts of the body. The list above can be used in various combinations. Some things are useful after I've experienced certain events, feelings, or generally when I'm feeling low. However, with that combination of things I'm doing, it makes it easier to cope with what else is going on around me and helps my brain recharge quicker to be able to overcome it. 23. Scenario time. I went to Amsterdam last year. I love that place and I would go and live there tomorrow if I could. I go for the music, the streets and the people. I'm being serious when I say that I really don't do people, but Amsterdam just feels different and everything just feels good. Anyhow, I fear travelling a lot. I don't do travelling. I don't do being away from home, and I don't do this very often. In my brain though, I know where I'm going, I know the area, I know where I'm staying, and I know the venue that I'm visiting. So what's the problem? When I go anywhere, I have to remember the things in the list above to really remember that they're available to help me, to give my brain some time to adapt, to learn its surroundings and to be in that space. 24. Having this access to all things isn't a be-all strategy for help. Sometimes your brain gets it wrong. Lately, I've been really concentrating on why I feel the way I do about travelling before I actually do it. This is hard, as you're trying to force your brain to think about both about the future that hasn't happened yet and past events that might have led you to think about the way it is now. Finding a thing that can help you with this is harder than it seems. A while ago, I bought a book called Happy Confident Me Life Skills Journal. I don't necessarily need my confidence building, but what I did need was a different task for my brain to do. A different thing to fit in with what was going on in the background of my daily life. The book lets you do different activities. Armed with my newly purchased felt tips, I started completing the things the book gives you to do. Whilst doing this, my brain started to work through the backlog, helping me to reanalyze the beginning of the travelling scenario in more detail, without feeling more dread about it. Feeling dread or down or doubt isn't a good thing, but they also serve a purpose. Of course, we know that we don't want to or shouldn't feel like that in this scenario, so something needs correcting. Let's have a look. We pack for 3 days. Check. Passports in the bag? Check. Toiletries? Check. COVID pass? Unfortunately, we still need one of those. Check. The things above to entertain us? Check. Then it starts hitting. That feeling of leaving home. But what is it? I figured out this one for me. I found out that although several things are going on, My main driver for many parts is the physical feelings that happen. My stomach and muscles below it relax, like they really chill out. Along with this, the feeling of needing to go to the loo. Yeah, I'm afraid so. So let's get that right. A relaxed feeling made you feel dread and anxious. Yes. The things I used above as my main tasks meant that my brain could dig deeper into what was causing the feelings and sensations that were cruising around my body. The tasks don't particularly matter, but I did need to be concentrating on them and not focusing on what feelings or sensations I felt, leaving that side of things to my brain. After it detects them, it's time for the hard work and understanding of where they are, which part of me they affect, and how it ties in with other feelings or emotions whirring around. There is a logic to it, and this part did eventually click into place for me, just as it will for you. 25. How does your brain come up with a stress response that's linked to a relaxation feeling or bodily action? A couple of ways that it can happen is as follows. The chemicals in your brain control different things. For instance, adrenaline is present when you're excited and scared. The brain sometimes gets the balance of these chemicals wrong, and therefore we end up feeling anxious when we're excited. Trauma can play a big part of what your brain classes as things as. For example, if you've never been excited or happy generally, your brain can begin to associate the surge of adrenaline as its fight or flight response instead of an excited response. This response is really important for keeping you safe, but you don't need it when you know you should be excited about going on a trip. As time goes on, both of the above may become true, and it can take a long time for your brain to realign with the chemicals, adjust how and when they need to be released. As I said above, being excited or scared results in the same stuff going around, and it's only really what your other senses are telling you that makes the most difference to how you treat that situation. If you've grown up always being scared, for instance, unfortunately, that's what your first result will likely be when those chemicals get going. It isn't fixed or final though, as that used to be me. 26. The last thing I'm going to say in this section is to have a stopwatch handy. In itself, it's just a lonely stopwatch, but that's the beauty of it. Out in the world around us, people want everything now, yesterday, and lots more tomorrow. The problem with this is that nothing ever really gets thought out or practiced before it comes perfect. I'm not saying that you should waste time perfecting everything, of course not. What I am saying though is that when you feel like you need a minute to rethink or realign the things in your head, take out the stopwatch, go and sit somewhere, and just have a minute. Take a minute to let your brain be itself for that time. It may help you to concentrate on a wall, your breathing, or even to close your eyes. It also doesn't matter where you do this task, a toilet, full room at the office, or on a couch, it's all good. You don't have to talk to anyone, be anyone, or do anything during this time. Just focus on you. Whilst writing this book, I did this many times. Feeling how tight your head muscles are, feeling your chest expand or how heavy your legs feel can really open your eyes to what you are and what you're feeling. The body and brain mask a lot of things and will try to convince you that you're okay, doing fine, or some other okayism. We know this isn't the case sometimes, so let this quiet minute give you time to connect with your inner you to see how your own foo gauge is doing. A minute goes quickly, so use it wisely.